Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Timberborn with me, Papa Mega and Hollowpine. So we're continuing our tutorial playthrough and I have a bunch of things that I want to talk about to start with. First of all, it's day 1 of cycle 4. You will see that the water has just came back, the drought has ended, and thus we are rejoicing. I have extended, because we now have 23 beavers and 4 children, the water pump part of our settlement to 2 pumps from 1, and I've added another small tank. So we now have a total capacity of 90. This is good because the beavers can all get thirsty in the similar time and they will drink all of the water that you have available. So having a little bit more capacity and keep increasing it as your operations and population grow is a good idea. We have another space here for at least 1 more water pump. And eventually you can easily demolish this and get a large water pump, which is, much bigger, but also can pump 5 units of water within the same time as the small pumps pump 1. So, that's going to be something that we will look into in the future as our operations are gonna increase. However, speaking about the water, I don't think we'll ever need this apart from, the occasional everyone is thirsty, let's give them a drink. And that's because I have, well, let's take it from here. As you can see here, we have finished our smaller or secondary dam over here to protect ourselves from a possible badtide. Now, we might be hit with a drought again, but every single cycle the chance of a drought lowers and the chance that you will get a badtide just increases. So I am almost certain that the next one will be a badtide. In this area we are going to be safe because the water just cannot, or I mean the bad water, it's currently good water, but the bad water will not be able to get past this this thing that we have built here. When it comes to this area, you can see that we're nowhere near ready for the dam. So I decided that I'm going to change my plans and we're just going to build a plug here. We are going to build one simple, well, it's called floodgate. Yeah, I always forget the name. We're gonna build one floodgate here and a bunch of levees. I'm just gonna plug this water source and hopefully it's gonna work. I've never done that before, but I don't see, judging by how the water physics work and how everything is set up in the game, I think this should work. We are still going to continue with building the dam, but it's gonna give us time enough to, prepare everything for the grand opening. Now this map has a nasty trapping. Like, it looks it's gonna be easy and everything is so well prepared for you, but you are constantly out of something, and the scope and the size of it is actually the trap, because you think that things are gonna be much easier and much cheaper than they are, but just building this dam, it's huge. There's gonna be so much water stored here. It takes way more time than I expected, and of course way more wood. So despite our forest farm, it's finally yielding some good trees here and there, it's just gonna take a while for it to kick in and provide so much wood that we will be able to build this. So again, the operations are changed. We're gonna continue with this, but first we're gonna do the plug and then we are going to continue with the main dam. Again, I've never done this before, so we're gonna experiment with it together. If we can't plug it, which is a thing that I haven't really thought about, but we're just gonna, survive. I mean, the water will eventually leave us. We might break down these dams just so that it goes away, but the clear water will fix it. I would be more worried about the lake, because the lake, if it gets polluted, will have a really hard time getting it out, as the water is standing there. It's not really flowing out, so it's going to be a little bit more complicated, but even that one will clear in time, and if not, hopefully the drought will clear it for us. So here's what we're going to do, and I'll see you in a moment with the next update. Alright, day 2 of cycle 4 has just started, and as you can see, we are well on our way to building the plug. I'm calling it the plug. It's not a nice word, but and it really is just a plug. This is what it's gonna look like. It's gonna be a double fault gate. I decided to unlock it because it's the most economic of the buildings for this operation, and we're building 3 levees on each side. Now I don't think I will need the upper one, but I'm doing just for roleplay reason because it looks weird if you don't connect it, and in this way I just feel like it is built inside the cave actually, or the stones here, and it cannot just topple, which otherwise, you know, you would think it would. I know there's probably just timber going down, but hey, you know, we'll see how it's gonna look. I hope this is gonna be enough. Again, I never done this before, so it's a little bit of an experiment. In case it doesn't work well, then, you know, we know what's gonna happen. So anyway, to speed the construction up, I have decided to build this hut over here. It's one of the buildings that you get from the district management. The other one is the holding post, which is something that we would need more because it is actually able to employ up to 10 beavers who do nothing else but to haul stuff from one place to another. Now we're getting a lot of wood from this area where I have built a couple of extra lumberjack posts, and you can see that they contain a ton of wood, but because it's so far away and because our beavers you know, are employed in other things, it is very inefficient because you have to have builder beavers coming in here and they just carry the wood from one place to another, which is in a sense very inefficient. There is a efficiency meter for each one of the buildings. I checked them. You can see it. Is it this one? No. No. This is the district. Distance from the district. But there is an efficiency meter. I forgot where it actually is, but it's somewhere here. I'm just confused. This is description. Now I'm confused. There should be... Wait, is it this one? Really? I'm not... No, it's the distance. That's weird. There used to be an efficiency here that I wanted to show you guys. It shows how much time your beavers spend working and how much time they spend hauling. So it's a bit weird that I cannot see it anymore because it really was here. And here's productivity 21%. So here you can see that the beaver here spends 21% time on production opposed to the downtime, so just carrying materials. So if we had the hauling post, you know, we could have this very close to 100%. So it's showing only on certain buildings and not on others. That's interesting. So I guess it's showing on places like, yeah, okay, so it's only on the production, not on the actual resource mining places, but on the places that actually produce stuff. So you can see that even our lumber mill has only 65% efficiency because, you know, he still has to go around and carry the logs to the lumber mill where he then produces it, or produces the planks. So the hauling post would help with that, really. It would help with that, but unfortunately... Oh, hello! So yeah, we're gonna get the badtide next. Good news. Anyway, as I was saying, we're working on the plug. The funny part here is that the smaller or secondary dam that we have built actually blocks off the water completely. I never realized that the water can also go through here, which means this area will never flood completely or enough for us to actually have the water spill over. So that means that in case a bad water or bad tide comes now, what's going to happen here, the water is going to come here and it's again going to stay here. So we don't really need this because most of it is going to go away and it's going to be washed off with clear water once the bad tide ends. But I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Well, I mean, you know, we really do not need to worry about it because, you know, we don't need this water at all. But what we would need to do here to actually take advantage of this river, or this section of the river, is build an actual levee wall here and then a dam here, or floodgates and just block off this to a certain height, which would mean that the water would go up to, you know, one tile up. Basically, it would flood this area and potentially part of this area, but it would still rise up a little bit, and then we could, you know, use the extra water and have it spill over. So that's a potential here. I kind of consider this my second fail on this map because, again, I started with saying and telling you guys that you need to really check what's going on and how the water is flowing. And again, I spoke about that in the update previously. I think that this map is deceptively simple in some regards, and this is another thing where I think it is a bit deceptive because it's kind of it's huge. That's one thing, and it has all these, you know, connections and everything that you do not actually realize are there. So, you know, you do something and plan something and you realize, wait, that doesn't really work the way it should. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, once we're done with building the plug and you know, are ready to basically block it off or block the badtide from our area, we are going to go and start developing our village a little bit more. What I want to do is we want to build more houses for the beavers because we have only one spare bed now. We have 24 adults and 5 children, so almost all of the available lodging is full. And I would really like to build also the aquatic farm here and start you know, a farm in the lake, because that's something that's going to make our beavers more happy. I mean, we really don't need more food, but we can definitely use more sources of food. I mean, we have 200 growth potatoes and 130 sunflower seeds and 400 carrots, so, you know, as far as food goes, we are definitely fine. Now, what's also important to note is that with the dam here, there is going to be a large change to the area, because this is going to be permanently green, because even during a drought we're going to retain water here and we basically gain this entire area for ourselves. So what I would like to do is start farming wheat in this area to have yet another source of food. Again, not because the beavers are hungry, but because every single source of food gives them extra well-being, and bread gives them +2, and the Spadadog and chestnuts give them also +2. So, you know, that's gonna boost their happiness quite significantly. And because we're gonna have more beavers soon as well, I really think we're gonna build that holding post. Again, that employs beavers strictly just for moving stuff from point A to point B, which benefits all of your you know, processing buildings like lumber mill or grill, but also they haul stuff from farms, they haul things to construction, you know, and it's generally very useful. And, you know, case in point, we still have lumber in these lumberjack posts, so, you know, I mean, they are hauling it, but it's literally the guys that construct things, and it would be much beneficial to actually have someone dedicated to haul the wood and planks and everything to the right area. Now, this is, and I'm not gonna pretend like it's not, this is a sprawling, huge area. We could have made everything much more compact, but again, this is mostly meant as a tutorial series, so we do not really care about that. The point is to make you guys understand the game, make you familiar with the concept, and, you know, have you enjoyed the game with me before we tackle on some of the way more complicated maps where we are going to be in imminent danger pretty much from start to finish. So yeah, I'm just gonna advance the time a little bit again. I'll see you with our first badtide, I guess. That's gonna be fun. Well, we are almost at the point where the badtide is gonna hit us, so let's see if our plan works. Other than that, as you can see, we are back to constructing our dam over here, or the major reservoir. We'll see how that's gonna go. But you will see that actually we have a lot of new houses here. We now have 31 occupied beds and 8 extra, which are not yet fully occupied. We have 25 beavers and 6 children, which is great. So things are going well there. And we even built a couple of well-being places like the campfire that you can see over here, or you can see it here. Unfortunately, there's nobody there right now. We also have the rooftop terraces over here and here. The beavers are still at a 20-hour schedule, so we have a lot of work to do still, so I'm not really letting them rest a little bit more, but once we are ready for that, we are going to employ that. Now, if this thing with the badtide is going to work, we will need to just strengthen our other reservoirs, and we are going to be good for the rest of the game, because already we can survive, I think, something like 9 to 10 days of drought, and if we build the upper dam and fill it with water, we're gonna get way more extra time. Maybe double, maybe, I mean, it's not gonna be triple. You have a lot of surface areas here that's gonna end up in evaporation, but still it's gonna be, a huge amount of extra water that we can let down when we want to fill these other areas. And we'll need to actually build a dam over here as well to get this part under control. Then we can break the dams that we have here and basically just have one big reservoir starting over here, going all the way to here and to here, with an extra source of water dammed here. So considering the badtide is at a 0, I'm just gonna raise this to maximum and see if we can stop the badtide from getting through. Alright, no water is coming through right now, so let's see if the badtide is going to start and get through. Alright, success! It is blocked. Yeah, I didn't think it wouldn't be blocked, but really, I never tried it before, so this is actually kind of interesting. So this gives us time to actually continue with... wow, this is really moving fast. And this is also interesting because there's probably fresh water in there, which is going to be replaced by bad water really soon. We'll see how that's going to work. So the plan is to continue building on the dam. As I said, I've built some rooftop terraces and other things. I also built one thing that I never mentioned before, which is a teeth grindstone. These places, you can see popularity, how people... oh hey, here's our younglings just chilling around. They're just having time, good time there. This guy is chilling at the rooftop terrace. I mean, the adults get benefits from that when they are off, and so do the small beavers. So the young ones can actually, he has happiness 10, which means 10% extra growth. Nice. They're growing so fast, aren't they? Well, as I was saying, we actually built teeth grindstone. I haven't really spoken about that before, but your beavers have also negative things that can happen to them. They can have... where is it? That's knowledge. They can have a broken tooth. I don't see here. They can get sick and they can have a broken tooth. We didn't have anyone getting sick, but if you have a number of beavers who had a broken teeth, and they can sharpen it here, removing that malice. So at this point, it's not being used, but there's the basic need, broken teeth. I think it negates, gives them a big penalty, but as I cannot find it there in the description, I don't know how big it is. Anyway, as I mentioned before, the badtide is already coming. Yeah, you can see it here. So it's already polluting this area. It's gonna... that's the thing, like, this area is kind of weird because of the water not being able to flow through. I'm not sure how long this is gonna take to get polluted, and more importantly, how long it is going to take to be cleared. Now, I already planned a little bit of a dam here. We'll need to extend it on the other side as well, but this is the basic part that is important for us. And once that would be built, we would have enough water over here so we can let it through. At that point, most of this water would be cleared, But the issue is, this doesn't really go all the way down. So again, would this pollution clear? My experience with bad water is that once it gets in good water, unless there is a really strong stream, it can take so long to clear out. It's almost like awful, and really complicates your life to have it clear. Now the thing is though, the good part is that, for example, the water pumps, they do not get a penalty. They cannot poison your beavers by pumping polluted water. They are made in a way that even if this would be 80% polluted and 20% clear water, they are just going to work on a reduced effectiveness. So they will work at a 20% speed, but they are only still going to pump clear water. So it is not like a game stopper. You can pump water even from a heavily polluted river or lake, but it's just gonna take way more time. Last but not least, we're now doing good on wood. We have a lot of logs, which is great. It's gonna make really the construction much easier. Okay, and I see that I actually have to plan it out. So yeah, let me just skip ahead and we'll see how we're surviving the bad tide. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Challenges of the game. But yeah, really, before I just jump, I wanted to say a little bit how I appreciate that we have built such a nice place here for ourselves, because we have so much water available in this area. It really isn't, it's not complicating our lives at all. And once we get the dam over here built as well, we'll add this entire area to it as well. And there's literally nothing that can hurt us. Like, we can strengthen it by breaking these smaller dams as well, so that we get just a teeny tiny little bit extra space for water. But the resilience of our village then is gonna be, especially once we finish the main dam, 40 days of drought. We'll see. All right, we are about halfway through the badtide. As you can see, the dam is almost finished. We just need to do the primary part, and primary part, we just need to do the main part where the gates are going to be. But other than that, we are doing pretty good. It's going very well. We still have a huge amount of logs and planks, which is great. As a side note, I'm reworking the Vesta dam. I'm gonna, I used to refer to them as primary and secondary dam, but now I think I'm just gonna talk about them as I think of them, because this is the view that I usually use. So this is going to be the northern dam, this is going to be the southern dam, and this is going to be the western dam. So the western dam is building on what I said we will do. There's going to be double floodgates over here. We're building a little bit of an extension so that we can fill this full with water to have enough space here to actually keep these areas fully flooded, so trees grow here. And the reworking of the area is going to be part of it. But yes, extending, retaining more water, that are our primary goals. Now, as I mentioned before, I really desire the holding post. So because we now have 30 beavers and 7 younglings, I decided to do it. It is now a balancing act between the two builders hub. Actually, this is like a district center, which is 4 beavers. Then we have 4 more builders over here, and the haulers are at the lowest priority. And because builders are still more important, that they carry their own materials, but we do have 3 haulers, and I can already see quite a bit of a difference between the efficiency of our operations. Food wise, we are almost fully stocked on everything. I'm actually considering building more storage places, but I'm not entirely sure if we're gonna do that right now. We can just lower the speed of the operations. As a side note, even the sunflower seeds storage, that one was the weakest, and now it's almost full. We have enough water. Everything is looking pretty good. what I wanted to mention is by now this area is almost fully boated, but it's still not fully boated. You can see how slow it is. There's a difference in the color, meaning there's still some regular water in here. I think the potion is about 80% at this point, maybe even slightly higher, but still it's not fully boated. I can see the difference in color here, here, and here. So curing this place out is going to be a nightmare. It is going to be a nightmare. Anyway, the plans remain the same for most part. I plan to build a farm up here. We're gonna, farm wheat here. And I was actually thinking that we might start another forest over here with another lumber mill here to just kick up our lumber production, but we will definitely need more beavers for that, because that is going to be one hell of a undertaking. But it's going to give me the potential to show you another concept that the game actually throws at you, which is water retention. You have a specialized buildings that can actually pump water inside the reservoir, and you can create artificial areas filled with water. So that's something that we're going to look into a little bit later. Other than that, priorities remain the same. Main dam, then, main, north dam, west dam. Then we're gonna think about what we can do with the south dam, and we need to rework these inner obstacles so that we have more water here, because these do not, they just take space. If we demolish them and build just regular passes using either the platforms, or we actually go ahead and get the suspension bridges, which I haven't really shown yet, but they're pretty cool, and they block no area in the water. We would get 3 and then 4 here, an additional 3 squares or cubes of water more. That's the plan. Just a short update. We just finished the dam, and you can literally see that we just ran out of water, which is interesting. It happened at the same time. We're about 1.4 days away from the badwater tide or badtide going away. So yeah, the amount of water that we had was roughly enough for about 9 days worth of drought. It's gonna get better again once we build this. I mean, we've already built it, but we have only 2 levels high dam currently. We plan to build yet another level here, which will, basically give us an additional, I guess, 25 to 30% of cubic squares of water, or whatever you want, capacity of water. We will then be able to extend this time to about double, maybe triple. But again, the dam is now finished. We're still doing relatively good on wood, so the next part of the operation is going to be to just build these things here. And I mean, we can build these things here. English, of how do you speak it? And finalize the dam. Then we're gonna have a special way here how we can reduce or let the water go out. I was thinking if there could be any kind of point to this. There is a huge amount of connections back here that could be interesting to work with, but I'm not entirely sure what to do with it now. You can plug the badwater sources, so in that case we could just use clear water to actually fill this entire area and use it later on, but for now that is just a pipe dream. We have no idea what's gonna happen there. But yeah, I like the you just build the dam and you also ran out of water kind of coincidence. Alright, the badtide has ended, and this is gonna be the end of the episode. I'm actually really happy with the way we handled this and what we did in this episode. I mean, despite the fact that we completely ran out of, not completely, there's still a little bit of water left here, but despite the fact that we have, ran out of water, I think this is good. It was just a couple, oh wow, you guys are actually going to, yeah, you really need water. But as I said, with the construction and finishing of the dam, we are never gonna run out of water again. This is gonna be really cool. I've actually added, you know, the western part as well. We will need to build another path here to get to it, but I think it's gonna be fine. Again, with the water that we're gonna have in this reservoir or dam, we are going to get this entire area as a fertile ground for the time being, and it's going to be, you know, really good for us. Extended operations that are going to benefit us greatly. Now with that done, we already have 35 beavers and 4 children, but we can actually expand even more. We can get, you know, higher amount of beavers in our village, which will mean we have more farming, more wood collection and planting. We can start thinking about things like gears and you know, advanced things, how to keep our beavers happy, apart from, you know, just the rooftop terraces and campfires, which are the basic tools how you can improve your happiness. It's generally, you know, really good. So not much else is left for us other than to release this dam and see the water coming out. Oh god, I didn't. Oh my god. Alright, I didn't realize it was full of bad water. Alright, no, that was a stupid idea. Alright, well, actually, I think the clear water couldn't even get there if we wanted to, because it is just... Oh wow, there's a lot of it there. Damn, it was probably just pressurized. But yeah, I think clear water... Yes, clear water is coming in next, so it's gonna get flushed out. Jesus Christ, but that was... Holy hell. Come on, get some good water in here so that, you know, our plants don't die. We really need it. Well, that's gonna take a little bit to clear, but, you know, if we keep the dam open, it's eventually gonna... Yeah, you can see that already the clear water is taking over. It's gonna be interesting to see. Haha! It's healthy. Yeah, some of the good water is getting through. You can literally see how the good water is coming. Yeah, that's very interesting, because the pollution itself is just to a certain degree, and then the clear water takes over. Alright, it's gonna be really interesting in the case of this area. Yeah, you can see... You can see there's the bad water. The clear water is already everywhere here. It already flooded out all of the bad water. But this area is going to retain that. We would have to flush it through our own area. Oh yeah, and you can see that the pollution is getting in here through that. Damn it. Alright, that's one bad part of this whole thing. That we basically... Yeah, and it retains a little bit of pollution here and there. But I mean, this one I'm not afraid of. That's gonna get flushed out. But whatever pollution gets in here is not gonna get flushed out. Whatever pollution will be here is gonna take forever to clear out. I mean, this is gonna be a nice experiment for me and a learning experience, because I really don't know how long these are gonna take. Of course, if we upgrade the floodgate over here to from a single to double, we can then just open these and have it flushed out using, you know, this stream, and basically just have like a double stream here. But without that, I don't think it's gonna be possible. Damn, yep. This is some icky water. But you see, you know, they are still pumping clear water out of that, even though it's probably gonna take them much longer. Oh well, I guess we're gonna start the next episode by looking at how the pollution is being handled, because that is also a very interesting and very realistic thing. Now, you know, before I go, I want to say that people sometimes get mad about the pollution being so hard to clear, but think about it. Like, if you drop a liter of petrol into a lake, well, it's gonna just stick in there. It's not gonna be, you know, going away just because you don't like it. So once you pollute the water, it's just that. It is polluted. So, you know, having it clear in due time is gonna be quite difficult for many Oh god, this is really ugly, but yeah, I mean, this is, it's about like 30% pollution right now, maybe less. So it's gonna go away. Yeah, this area is already fully clear. You can see that it's clearing out even here. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting experiment. Alright, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Currently saying goodbye with Hollowpine having 38 beavers, 35 adults, 3 children, and as I said, in the next episode we are hopefully going to finish the last level of the dam, fill it fully, prepare for the next drought. We know they're gonna get extensive, they can get really long, 20, I think someone said even 30 days, though I've never seen that in the game yet. So we're gonna, just make everything more robust, more self-sufficient, I guess. We're gonna add additional things and then have our beavers get better and better, and we're gonna make them happier and happier, which is the goal of the game. So thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode with more Hollowpine in Timberborn.